Recovery is 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. This is the pattern of recovery. In fact, this is life. Life is also like this: forward, backward, up and down. Now, there is a addiction expert called Terence Gorski who identified that in the process of recovery, there are what he calls stuck points. As an addict and alcoholic progresses in his recovery, he hits certain obstacles called stuck points, which generate stress. Now, stuck points could happen because of some incident that happened around me. A stuck point happens because I am not able to let go of certain emotions within me. So I get worked up, I build up stress. It could be a thought which is obsessive compulsive, it could be an emotion which is obsessive compulsive. So I get stuck in a point. And at this point, a lot of stress is generated. So at this point I need to deal with that stress, I need to consolidate my recovery. If I don't do that, then I get on to what is called a relapse curve. Now, he identified definite stages of the relapse curve: external dysfunction, internal dysfunction, option reduction, etc. We're not going into that. But basically, the process of relapse starts till he actually picks up the drink or drug. So, it is important to learn how to deal with stress. Now, how can the addict manage stress? Again, going back into the personality traits he has: practice humility. Remind himself that he has a problem, which is incurable. Remind himself that he's not the smartest, not the greatest, not the only person in the universe, that he's a part of a whole system, he's a part of the family. Remain open-minded to inputs, and that is why in the 12-step program we have a sponsor who sometimes kicks us and tells us that we are wrong. Practice honesty, that is the opposite of manipulation. Accept the reality as it is and try to work within what is around me, what is real, and not try to change the reality around me to suit my distorted version. Share my true emotions. Again, as we saw, that we may be starting getting angry with my boss, with my wife, with my neighbor, but actually something inside of me is going wrong. It is probably arising from what we identified as maybe fear. Fear could be in so many ways that even in recovery, that somebody is going to pull me up and it will hurt my ego. That is also a fear. So, share my true emotions. So that's why the self-help groups like the Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous give us a venue where we can go and share our emotions. We can share our emotions with what they call a sponsor, that means somebody else in recovery. Why do they recommend a sponsor? Because at some level only another alcoholic or addict can understand another alcoholic or addict. Now suppose in the morning I'm getting ready and my neighbor's dog is barking. Now my neighbor's dog is barking, that is irritating. Now he's barking and I'm getting more and more irritated. And the danger is that I may get so irritated that I may go and drink. For a normal person, he's just able to ignore the barking of the dog and get on with his life. So for me, that barking is very, very dangerous, but not for the normal person. Now if I go and share this to somebody else, that my neighbor was barking in the morning and in the evening I felt like a pig. You see, I was crazy guy. But if I go and tell that to another alcoholic, he'll say, yeah man, you started drinking because of the dog, I started drinking because of the birds. See, because he can identify what stress you can build up, minor things. So practice prayer and meditation. Now prayer, I don't mean religious prayer, but prayer and meditation basically means give time to yourself, be with yourself alone for some time, so that you are able to connect with your own feelings and with a higher power if you have in the process of finding God, if you believe in God or whatever. Basically, be with yourself for some time, connect with yourself for some time. Staying sober is like driving a very, very unique car. This is a car that is going uphill. So you're driving a car which is going uphill. It has an accelerator, but it has no brakes. So you have to keep your foot on the accelerator. The moment you remove your foot from the accelerator, you slide backwards. So that is what recovery is. You can't put on the handbrake and go and have a cigarette and come back. Now from irrational thinking to rational thinking. Irrational thinking, I'm always right, other people are wrong. So that change also is a spiritual growth. Usually an addict's belief is that life should be easy. So he will try everything to make life easy. If I get this job, if I get this project, if I get married to Aishwarya Rai, if I have $1 million, life will be easy. Just like he used to think, if I get that one bottle of scotch, if I have half a kilo of ganja, life will be easy. But the reality is that life is difficult. This is the basic fact of life, that life is difficult, life is full of challenges. So in his pursuit of making life easy, he actually makes more problems and creates more problems and makes life more difficult. So this is the irrational thinking an addict has, that life should be easy, but actually life is difficult for everybody, addict or non-addict. And to meet these challenges is what requires a spiritual approach. The most common threats to recovery, especially in initial recovery, is first one is the pink cloud syndrome. Pink cloud syndrome is I've joined the AA meetings or NA meetings and I'm 6 months sober. I've come out of the rehab. I feel very good. I'm able to taste food. I'm able to sleep without alcohol. My wife is saying, wow, you did a great job staying in the rehab. Everything looks damn good. I got my job back. So, everything is too good. So I keep telling everybody, rehab is too good. 12-step program is fantastic. I'll probably start giving lectures to other people. So I want a pink cloud. It's initial, it happens. About 1 year, then slowly it wears off. And then. The second threat to recovery is that now I'm in control. Now I can manage things. Now I can control my alcohol, and therefore I must control my wife, my job, my boss, everything. But the life situation is quite different. The third threat is, I am entitled to this, I deserve this. You put me in the rehab for 6 months, now I deserve to have this. I don't have to earn this. I deserve a new car, I deserve respect of others, I deserve others' love. So I'm entitled to it. This is again the thinking of the addict. He doesn't want to work for it. He can't wait for it. So it will take time for people to respect him. It will take time for him to build his own self-worth. It will take time to gain things materially. I have made it. I have arrived. Now I'm some big guru in Alcoholics Anonymous or addiction therapy. Now I have made it. Actually, if you look at the 12 steps, the first step says that my life has become unmanageable. I admit I am powerless. It doesn't say, I admit I was at one time powerless, but now I am powerful. Because the moment you think that you can control things, that you've got it made, that means now you become powerful. And therefore that leads to complacency. You stop at going for readings, you stop consulting your counselor or sponsor, and you will go for the course. The so-called ego will also come up, that I am more powerful than alcohol, I am smarter than alcohol, see with all my thinking now I am able to control Mr. Johnny Walker. But Mr. Johnny Walker is smarter than all of us. So, this is all I have to say. Any questions? No questions?
Sure. For an alcoholic or an addict, letting go is very crucial. But how about the people around us? Well, they should also let go, right? Or this applies only to us, or
Again, it's coming from my need to control, my need to manipulate. Recovery is my responsibility as an alcoholic and addict. Recovery is my responsibility. As it says that I need to adjust myself. The will will, of course, looking at it from the point of view of, as Rajeshwari said, the codependency. The family also needs to get into recovery. But if the family doesn't get into recovery, that doesn't mean that I use that as an excuse to drink. My boss may understand or may not understand that I am an alcoholic or addict. But it's my responsibility, it's my life, and it's my recovery. आप कुछ पूछना चाह रहे थे?
The same, something for the families, recovery families.
I think Rajeshwari has spoken a lot about it.
On these grounds.
Huh?
On these grounds.
The same spiritual principles work on the family. Actually, what happens actually is that we talked about addiction and OCD, the need to control. The addict is all the time running after the bottle. That's a big bottle. He's obsessed about it, he's compulsively chasing it, he's trying to control it, he's trying to control his drinking. So what happens with the family is, the family members are all the time chasing the alcoholic. They are obsessed about it. Where is he going today? Where is he coming back? They are compulsively chasing him. So this is a sort of an addiction, and this is also sort of an addiction. This addiction is called dependency in the technical word, and this is called codependency. So recovery means getting away from this, and recovery means getting away from this. Now, this requires a spiritual approach, this also requires a spiritual approach. So he starts taking care of himself and not the bottle. He realizes that he cannot control the bottle, but he can bring about a change in himself. Similarly, the family needs to understand that they cannot control the alcoholic man, and they need to bring about a change in themselves. Then only once he is empowered and the family is empowered, then together they can make a strong family. So everybody needs to take care of himself, because everybody is ultimately responsible for their own recovery.
Just one quick question. Do you have any self-assessing tools that a person in recovery can, address or look at? Just do you have any self-assessing tools which the husband and wife together or a friend and can tick off and say that, oh my God, looks like we are in danger right now?
There are definite signs, but as I said earlier, it's another alcoholic or addict. It's not husband and wife. alcoholic has to go to his sponsor, and the alcoholic's wife or the co-dependent has to go to her sponsor. Because there are too many things in between the husband and wife. It's like two patients sitting and saying, you know, are you well, are you not well? What? They have to go to their doctors. And there are some basic things one needs to do for recovery. If you believe in the 12 steps, then you have to just, are you going to meetings? You don't need a form for that. You know whether you're going to meetings or not. You have a sponsor. Are you doing the steps? Have you done the 4th step, which is a big step in recovery? If you haven't done these, then you don't need an assessment. It means you're not in recovery. You're on slippery ground. You do have assessment for people who are drinking to know whether they are alcoholics or addicts, because most of the alcoholics think they are not alcoholics. So we have right here 20 questions. You tick mark. It says if you tick mark to 2 or 4 that you are an alcoholic or not an alcoholic. It's created by Johns Hopkins University.
Rahul, what do you do when you're angry, somebody's honking? In the little small moments that, as you gave the example of the birds and.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing you can do. Again, you see, it's not that my recovery is in compartments. Recovery is my wholesome recovery, addressing all areas of my life. So as I get stronger in recovery, my ability to tolerate stress. Now when the honk is coming, it is generating stress. My ability to deal with stress or manage stress or to tolerate stress gets heightened. And whether it could be a honk or, as I said, a dog barking or anything else. So as we get stronger in recovery, do our steps in, if you believe in the 12 steps, then your tolerance level goes up. I know that's a problem I think everybody faces in Hyderabad, whether you're an addict or not. I think I was very nicely fitted into the slot, 45 minutes. Thank you.
I think now we'll have a short tea break, followed by a presentation on the topic of communication.
It's an activity.
I think it's a combination of both. Either way, it's interesting.